Okay, challenge science update. This is for like the second marking period. So there's two key things I want to talk about. Number one, the evolution of this course throughout the year, where we're going to go, and then the all important course selection. And I want to talk about the course selection. It will be based on science only. Okay, the district does a phenomenal job in talking about the big picture in regards to what other opportunities are at the high school. I'm just going to focus on science. Okay. All right. So with challenge science overall, kids are doing a great job. We just finished our matter and energy unit, finished up our winter wonderland week. So now we're getting into physics. Believe it or not, this year, we're going slower through physics because we're going more thorough. Okay. We're spending more and more time on math. All right. And what is that going to mean? Well, we're using a lot of algebra terminology right now. We're talking about slope-intercept form equations and relating it to our graphs with position time and velocity time. So we're really trying to review that basic algebra, right? So these kids can see how it can be applied, right, to science. So the pace is a little slower because we're digging deeper and going more thorough and making sure they see that connection between the math and the science. Because I've told the kids, if you're really good at math and you're good with numbers, and you're really going to be good with chemistry and physics. Okay. And they're going to learn that the math will actually make the science easier. Why? If something's based on a law, it's proven by math. And if you understand the math, you understand the science. So that'll be what we do. We will also this year be trying, I'm going to try something new. We're going to try a wave chapter on waves in physics. And it'll be the first time I've done it. So it might be a little bit messy, we'll see how it goes. But we're going to try something with waves, see how that goes. Why are we doing it? A couple of years from now, we're going to be required to teach that as our curriculum, and the state standards are going to be tweaked a little bit. So we're going to start to practice teaching waves and seeing what works and what doesn't this year. And then in a couple of years, when we have to implement it, it'll be seamless. So again, they're going to be learning more, a little bit of a slower pace, but very thorough with the math and the science combination. So I really like the way it's going. So again, in physics right now, we're doing basic 1D kinematics, one-dimensional kinematics motion. We'll be learning about how to solve kinematic equations, doing word problems, right? Isolating variables, many variables, and solving those physics equations. Then we're going to go to Newton's laws of motion, right? And that's just not the basic memorize the three laws. We're going to apply them, draw free body diagrams, understand how forces cause acceleration. Then we're going to get into momentum, conservation momentum, right? We haven't done that in a couple of years. We're going to do that. Then after that, we're going to get into work energy theorem, which is going to be neat. That's where we're going to apply some trigonometry, right? Build that part of the math, right? And we're also going to do gravity and centripetal force, centripetal acceleration. It's really cool. And then at the end, we're going to do a small little packet on waves and wave phenomena. So that'll be something new for this year. It'll all come to a culmination in mid to late March for spring celebration week. Okay. And we'll talk more about that later. All right. So real quick with this course. So since September, your child is gradually becoming prepared for high school. So we started day one, note taking, learning how to take notes in class. We do not use laptops in class. They are not allowed. Okay. We are writing, and the kids are taught how to rewrite. We've taught them how to use a notebook, table of contents, everything. Then we taught them how to manage their time and do a couple packet pages a night, right? Over a 2-week period, I'll do a little bit each night, go back and regrade it. Homework has become a lot better. The quality's become a lot better, and it's an active way to study. So we've talked about that. Your child went through 3 exams in 3 days, which is like a simulated midterm environment where in December, right, a couple weeks beforehand, I gave the kids an outline. I said, hey, you guys got to review the old and learn the new. And if you had a really good notebook, which was organized with table of contents, you're able to study efficiently and effectively. So we've done that, right? Then, like in November, December, I said, I'm going to give you pop quizzes. Okay? I'm going to give you pop quizzes. You know what's going to be on. It could be on anything. Why did I do that? To instill a discipline. To make sure we go back and look at what we learned before, study it, and keep going with the new. And also, sometimes pop quizzes give you a good indicator of what your strengths and weaknesses are. Okay? And if you had a really good notebook, which has been taught, you can handle that. Now, the next level is this. Pop quiz will happen anytime. Now we have something called all or nothing quizzes. That's what I said, all or nothing. Well, what does that mean? Polyatomic ions. If you had me before, you know how important they are. Okay. To memorize 25 polyatomic ions gradually. Okay. Each week we build, and here's what happens. If you get one ion wrong, it's a 0. If you get the rest right, it doesn't matter, it's a 0. Sounds pretty harsh. Well, guess what? They're going to learn them well. And because of that, they should do really well in chemistry in the 4th marking period. But again, I'm going to do it. Every Friday, there's an all or nothing quiz. And I got to say, it took the first one. Pretty much everybody did a great job. And what that's going to do is it's going to really force those kids to know those ions well. So when we start chemistry, we can go way above and beyond. And it'll be amazing what these kids will accomplish. Now, when I say all or nothing, right, there's small point values. But keep in mind, I've waited to do the all or nothing quizzes till like this 2nd and then 3rd marking period because there are so many test points. We have hundreds of test points. So 1 or 2 small zeros within hundreds of test points will not have a significant impact at all. So it's a safe time to do that. But yet I will say this, if your child keeps getting zeros every week, and I don't think anybody's going to do that. But if they did, then there'd be a little bit of an impact on the grade. But again, they've also been taught, make good choices, study every night focused, right? Good choices lead to opportunities. Good choices, for the most part, lead to success. Good choices gives you more options, good options. And that's where I want to talk right now. Good choices gives you more options. Okay, so let's talk about these options, all right? All right, so right now it's course selection. And everybody's excited, as you should be. There's a lot of awesome opportunities at the high school, okay? The 9th grade center, and especially the 10, 12 center. So many great opportunities, so many cool programs. It's great, okay? I'm going to focus on science, all right? Now, I'm going to screen share, and I've attached it in this email, the course selection manual, all right? So I'm going to hit screen share right now. I'm going to talk about good choices leading to more options. All right, so I'm going to hit share screen, course selection guide. Here we go. All right, hold on. I'm going to go back to the beginning. So when you get it, you're going to see this. I'm going to ask that you scroll down. And I like the way this is set up. They have like a special section just for 9th grade. And that's all you got to worry about right now is 9th grade. So I'm going to click on science because that's all I'm worried about, science. And it takes me right to science. And if you're not sure, it's page 30 is the science. Okay. This is enormously huge. I'm going to come back to that. Let's go down to what the courses are available and what the prerequisites are for challenge science. Okay. So there's 3 courses: honors earth science, biology honors, and regular earth science. Everybody will take a science next year. At minimum, everybody will take, I said at minimum, regular earth science. Okay. There's a description of the course. Now, there's some honors courses, and this thing right here means weighted and weighted. What does weighted mean? So if you get like a 90 in honors earth science or biology honors, you would take that 90 and multiply by 1.05, okay? And whatever number that is, that goes towards your GPA. You don't see the number in your report card, but you'll see that weighted number counted into the GPA, okay? So you do get a little bit of a boost, and the counselors will talk more about that. Here's what I want to talk about. So everybody is eligible for regular science. Now, in this course, to take honors earth science, see the topics, all you need is an 80 in challenge science. That's it, an 80 in challenge science. Okay? Traditional needs a 90. That's not, I said for challenge science, it's 80. All right, I'll come back to that. What do you need to take biology honors? Okay, now I will say biology honors is extremely rigorous. A lot of reading, a lot of optional homework, right? And we've talked about optional homework. And if you've seen your kids' homework grade, I put notes how much optional homework they've done, right? Because again, as you go to high school, it's more about the choices kids make. Okay. So biology honors, what do you need for that? Oh, 88 average in challenge science right here. All right, 94 in regular science. Okay. So an 80 average honors earth science, 80 average challenge science. Now I'm going to turn this off for a second. So what will happen is this. So hear me out, okay? Listen carefully. You ready? Okay. Your child will give me a piece of paper. Right? it'll say on there, there'll be a little checklist. I have to put my initial next to the course that I recommend them to. Okay, now watch this. How do I recommend them? Hear me loud and clear. You ready? I recommend them based off a number. What number is that? Their average of the first 2 marking periods this year. Now, right off the bat, I've been doing this for years. Listen carefully. A lot of parents and kids get scared and concerned. Oh my gosh, I don't have an 88. Because we talked, not many kids have an A in this course. We told you that at the assembly. This is a very hard course. Most kids have B's, right? Some C's, few A's. That's great. So what if you want to take biology but don't have an 88? I have to sign honors or science. And I would kindly ask you sign up for it. Let me say it again. I kindly ask you sign up for it. Now listen, does that mean it's set in stone? I don't know. There will be a point at the end of the 3rd marking period where you can make a change. What if the average goes up? Because again, still the stuff we've been teaching the kids all year besides science, all these intangibles that go into really building a student who's battle tested and ready, right? What if your child's grade improves and becomes better? Okay, well, if you meet the prerequisite by the end of the 3rd marking period, there's a window where you can sign up for biology. Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility here. So we ask that you're flexible, and for now, follow the recommendation. Okay? Go with the recommendation for now. There is flexibility. The district offers flexibility. Okay, now hold on. What if you don't have it by the end of the 3rd marking period? Are you locked in? Well, those kids will take what they're told to take, but then there is a time frame after graduation, at the end of the school year, where if you want to make the change when you've achieved that grade by the 4th marking period, that 88, contact the 9th grade center after graduation in June. You can still make the change. Most changes are made at the end of the 3rd. So again, look at all that flexibility. Okay, everything is fluid right now. Everything's flexible. All right. So now, why do I say go with the recommendation? I would say this. Go with the recommendation for now and allow your child to keep building, keep improving. Say, hey, we're going to say honors or science, regular science for now. That's what you've earned. If you keep improving and keep working towards getting better, working towards building on these intangibles of note-taking, grading packets, studying for like comprehensive tests, because you're going to have a spring celebration week, dealing with pop quizzes, dealing with all or nothing quizzes, making good choices, doing optional homework. These are all little intangibles that honor students need to be good at. If you keep getting better and growing, right, then maybe you've earned that privilege to upgrade. Think of it that way, okay? So there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of change that could occur. Well, there's a lot of change throughout the year in challenge science. 1st marking period is a wake-up call. And the kids, most kids get a lot better as the year goes on. They're a much different student in the 4th than they were in the 1st marking period, okay? So take that into account. Again, I've always said it to your children, you know your child best, right? You and your child, it's your child. You do what's best for them. Again, I always say, listen to your child. If they don't like science, why do you want to put them in biology? I don't know. Okay, but that's your family comes first. From my perspective, go with the recommendation and allow your child to build up and earn it and improve. Okay, I'd rather not force a recommendation and override. And then what happens if your child's grades drop? I don't know. I just don't like that at this age. I'd rather you build. I'd rather be a build than all of a sudden a possible collapse. I just don't want to see that. Okay, but that's up to you. What you got to do is you and your child have to discuss. You got to do what's best for your child. Parents know best. Okay. All right. But again, I've been doing this for a long time. All right. I'm going to go back to the course selection paper. All right. So watch this. Share screen. Course selection guide. Here we go. So as I was, and again, I'll show you how I got here. Cover, Scroll down, focus on ninth grade, and I'm only going to focus on science. You want to learn about the ninth grade, it's all there. I'm going to click science. So I showed you the 3 courses. Here's the prerequisites. Okay, now sometimes I want you to look at the big picture. And I think every subject area, math, everywhere else has this. This thing is awesome right here. This is great. I always say focus on ninth grade. Ninth grade is your most important year because that's your foundation for your GPA. Let me say that again. Ninth grade is really important. It's your foundation for your GPA. Okay. So this right here, it's really nice. They say if you start off in earth science, well, what's the course in 10th grade? Biology. Maybe sometimes honors biology. And again, what do you take 11th grade? Some form of a chemistry or a science elective, microbiology, anatomy, physiology, whatever. And then last but not least, in 12th grade, you can take physics and you can still take an AP science course. Okay, so you still have that AP opening right here, even if you take regular science. What happens if you take honors or science? Well, take regular bio, a lot of kids may go to honors biology. And that 10th grade honors biology course is equivalent to the 9th grade, like the same kind of class. You know what I mean? And then what do you take in 11th grade? You're on the chemistry part right there, honors chem or regular chem. Okay. And sometimes you may want to take an AP science, like an AP physics 1, or you may want to take AP environmental science or something, maybe AP bio. I don't know. But notice you might have a good shot for an AP in 11th grade. And then in 12th grade, you want to take physics, go take physics, AP physics, it's only regular physics and AP physics, or another AP science. So look at the big picture. These are all 3 really good options. There's flexibility in all of these areas. What if you start in bio? Okay. Then in 10th grade, you take honors chemistry if you succeed in biology and honors algebra 2 or honors geometry. Now, I will say this. Before COVID, the population of students who are in geometry in 8th and successfully, and I said successfully, do well in algebra 2 in 9th grade and biology. We've had a higher number of kids double up and take honors chem and AP physics 1 and 10th. That is a possibility. If they're currently in geometry in 8th, 9th grade, do very well in algebra 2, honors algebra 2, and do very well in biology, and they love science, we've seen kids do both and do really well. Okay? They do really well, but they have to do really well in honors algebra 2 and bio. And then you see all the AP openings. So again, you kind of get a flavor of what is down the road. So I'd really look at that along with the different courses right here. Okay? So that's the course selection. Now, again, keep in mind, and I told the kids this, it's an exciting time, right? A lot of kids are like, what are you taking? Are you taking honors? Are you taking this? Are you taking that? Okay. I don't blame the kids for being excited. Parents, I don't blame you for being excited. It's exciting, especially if this is your first child, if this is your oldest child. It's exciting to talk about the high school courses. Wow, I could see you take this. I'm guilty of it too. We all do it. But I told the kids, please be excited about course selection. Please do what's best for you. Don't pick courses based on what your friends are taking. Don't take courses based on what older siblings took. Don't take courses based on what other people in the neighborhood took. Every child is different. Okay? Every child is different. It's all about, does your child make good choices? Does your child work hard? Does your child go above and beyond? Does your child do extra practice? Does your child stay focused on their homework? Does your child know how to study and take notes and rewrite notes and do extra practice and Google things? They do all that, then they're probably a really good honors candidate. So it's all about that. Does your child show those intangibles, or have they shown growth of those intangibles? Again, this is all being taught. What are they buying in? Many are. But again, something to think about. You know your child best. Your child knows themselves best. Listen to their feedback too. Okay? And also to consider how many extracurricular activities are. There's so many cool activities over there. So that'll be a balance. All right. So again, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Every one of you parents is going to get an email from me within the next 2 weeks. And I'll say it. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not always what you want to hear. I will give some feedback about your child. Okay. Again, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not always what you want to hear. I'd rather you hear honest feedback from my perspective. Okay. Because again, it's a critical year to get your kid ready for high school. The 8th grade year is critical. All right. So that's that. I'll attach the course selection book. You'll hear stuff from the high school. They do a great job presenting stuff. You'll get more information. Any questions, shoot me an email. But again, go with the recommendation for now. Things are flexible. At the end of the 3rd mark period, flexible. At the end of the year, flexible. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Hope this video helped. Have a great day.